Hi! The Leman Russ battle tank has been the mainstay tank for Imperial Guard armies since the days of 2nd edition when this kit was first released, and since then this kit has been updated somewhat, and also far more recently a second main battle tank was released with the somewhat heavier Rogel Dawn tank. And beyond these, there have been a number of super heavy vehicles released, either by Forge World, with some resin kits, and also some of those have been later produced as multi-part plastic models as well. However, there is a battle tank that is missing, because in the lore there has been another Imperial Guard battle tank that was developed on the Death World of Krieg during their civil war, and that has appeared only in epic scale so far. And here it is. And this is the Ragnarok. And the story is that this was produced on Krieg during their civil war when supplies of Leman Russes were running low and they needed something crude but reliable to get the job done, and this was the vehicle they came up with, armed with a battle cannon and a pair of heavy stubbers. Now, there has been a conversion model created that showed you how to make a Ragnarok for Warhammer 40,000 out of a Chimera and a Leman Russ kit, but that wasn't really a direct copy of this little model. It had some quite different features, including the armament, and in fact it was just to be counted as a Leman Russ again, rather than being a distinct type of tank. However, in this video, I am going to scale this epic scale model up to Warhammer 40,000 scale, and I'm going to keep all of the properties that it has at this much smaller scale. I started by sketching out one-to-one scale what sort of model I wanted to produce, and I already knew when I began this drawing that this tank was going to come out somewhat larger than a Leman Russ. I could tell that from the epic scale model compared to the epic scale Leman Russ. Then I moved on to making a card prototype. Normally I say a simple card prototype, however this one was a bit more complicated, so I really am glad that I did a card prototype first, because it let me see all the complexities of how to get particularly this upper hull area together. And then, once I was satisfied with that, I moved on to the plasticard model. And here is the basic core, which, as you can see, reproduces the card prototype and also has the tracks in place and the wheels. But now, this model is ready to be detailed. So here is the detailed Ragnarok battle tank, and as always I've used rather a lot of small pieces of plasticard to create the surface details that break up the flat areas of this model. But you'll be able to tell from the amount of parts that are this interesting grey colour, I've also made use of quite a lot of official Citadel parts. Normally, when I've been making upscaled epic scale models, I've been trying to create something that looks like it could have been produced during the Rogue Trader years. So I limited myself only to the parts that would have been available during that time. On the other hand, this is just a general model to see what a Ragnarok would look like at Warhammer 40,000 scale, and I'm not worried about the vintage of any parts. Therefore, I've used whatever parts came to hand, which is a lot of stowage from the Imperial Guard accessory sprue, and there's a wheel from the older Imperial Guard Chimera and Leman Russ tanks is used to form these heavy stubber turrets. The stubbers themselves also come from the accessory sprue. A lot of handholds from Imperial Guard kits. And if we move up to the top of the turret, you can see we have a contemporary plastic Krieg Sergeant as the commander of this vehicle, and the sandbags come from the current Cadian plastics. So now that I have got this kit fully detailed, it's time to paint it. And here is the finished Ragnarok battle tank, painted in a suitably drab colour scheme to match the death core of Krieg. And you'll notice that in addition to painting it, I have also added a couple of transfers. This skull symbol was taken from a Lehman Russ transfer sheet, while on the other side of the turret, the two numbers, the 1 and the 0, have been taken from a Baneblade transfer sheet. And if I just bring in my Lehman Russ and my Rogel Dawn tank kits, you can see how this compares to the pair of them. You can see it's a much bigger tank than the Lehman Russ that it was designed to take the place of on Krieg, and I think it's probably because it's a lot cruder, the technology is more basic, and the strengths of this tank would lie in its ability to be mass-produced quickly, and probably also its durability. I don't really see it being quite such a capable war machine as the Lehman Russ, and certainly not as powerful as a Rogel Dawn. So, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Imperial Guard's missing battle tank, and thanks for watching. Bye.